Rina Shah, who is in Reston, Virginia. And Rina, good to have you on the program with us. I want to talk to you about the impact of women in this election, because we're seeing a huge gender gap in how people are voting in this election. Why is that?
I think this is the election that has really been the one where it really takes the cake on how women are going to respond to pollsters as well as to, frankly, the polls. And what I mean by polls is that this is an unusual situation. We've had so many women across the country, rural and urban, vote in absentee form. They've gone to early voting locations, and then they've also voted in person today. So that has complicated this entire thing. Normally with the pollsters, we have women sort of giving that shy effect, whether it's shy Trump effect or shy Biden effect, that remains to be seen. That's what we are looking for tonight. I think mainly what I'm looking for in the rural areas are women splitting from their husbands, because that's something that traditionally pollsters have looked at over and over to see how closely, particularly, are Republican women voting with their spouses and with men in those communities. And that's traditionally been in lockstep. This pandemic has complicated things. In my experience of talking to Republican women who are independent now, unaffiliated, or leaning left due to President Trump's behavior the past 4 years, what I'm hearing from them is a mixture of things. Is that I really like the justices, but I'm nervous about the economy after this virus. So that is, again, another complicating factor. And so this is nothing like 4 years ago.
Right. 4 years ago, we saw suburban women largely vote for Donald Trump, and he's lost a lot of support among suburban women, and he knows it. We saw at a recent rally where he pleaded, "Suburban women, please like me." What is it that turned them off to Trump 4 years later? And what is it about Biden that appeals to women?
Well, I would say for Trump, particularly 4 years we've had now to see how does he make good on his campaign promises. The number one of those being the wall, building a wall on our southern border and having Mexico pay for it. Everybody knows that that has not come to fruition. So that is a failed promise. And I would say really another big one, and that is the most time sensitive, is the vaccine. It's election day today. We do not have a vaccine. So what you see with women largely in the suburbs are women who are college educated and women who are part of the modern working force. And those women are seeing really, really horrible numbers when they look at their fellow women around the country. For example, in September, we know that we lost a little over 860,000 American women from the workforce. That was 4 times the number of American males. And that's single and married women all lumped together. So really what the American woman is seeing is that because of a lack of a vaccine and because of a lack of a real plan, I mean, if you really want to say that Trump had a plan, it was back in April and he's been using the same one. So I think that uncertainty has really complicated their jobs, childcare situations because of virtual school. And that's the part that gives women pause when they couple it with the behavior of the president over the past 4 years, the name calling he's engaged in, the fact that he targets people, whether that's somebody with a disability or just a political opponent. You don't see Joe Biden doing that. You see in Joe Biden a very stable, sort of expected, statesman-like behavior. And that, I think, is what draws a lot of women like myself, particularly to say, this could be the normalcy we need after 4 very chaotic years.
You talked about women voters traditionally voting along the same lines as their spouses, but now kind of breaking with that tradition. How critical are women voters going to be in this election?
This is the election that I believe will be delivered by women largely. It has to be, because there's too much on the line for the American woman. Like I just mentioned, the economic repercussions. But if you're looking also at women as caregivers as well, we bear the brunt of that in American society. We are the ones taking care of aged parents and again, balancing this with work outside the home as well. So whether you're looking at a woman in Appalachia and in West Virginia, Virginia, where I come from, or you're looking at a woman in Queens, New York, a very urban area, you're seeing American women by and large facing the same challenges. And so what really is the defining factor that we look at is college education. I think that will be the most interesting numbers that we see tonight, because in the many months leading up to today, what we've seen are the polling and the numbers changing. Women are going for Biden largely when they have a college education. That's when they're splitting from their husbands, whether you're looking at rural or urban areas. And I think that will be the defining factor for the outcome of this election.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Political advisor Rina Shah in Reston, Virginia. And want to mention, I love your necklace, by the way. I don't know if our viewers can see it at home, but it says vote. A not so subtle message today. Rina, thank you.